Are we?
Down by the railroad tracks, of course. I knew you'd take me in the end.
I shouldn't be here.
Oh, it's all right. Papa will never know. But you won't leave me alone like you did last time, will you?
I didn't leave you. I've never been here with you before.
Oh, Wilma. Wilma's telling a fib. You remember what happened last time?
No, I don't. Now leave me alone. I don't want to be here.
Don't leave me. Don't leave me again.
Emily, you're being very bad. Saying things like that. Saying things that didn't happen.
I'm not. It did happen. Come on now, Wilma. Wilma. Come. You've got to come. Let's play on the tracks.
No. Please.
Remember, we played on the tracks before. Let's do it just like then.
No.
You walk on one rail, and I'll walk on the other. We'll see who can stay on the longest.
I don't want to do that. It's dangerous.
No, it isn't. Do as I tell you, Wilma.
No. I don't want to.
You've got to, Wilma. You've got to because I say you've got to.
No, please.
Yes, that's right. That's good. That's my Wilma. Now, just stay like this. We'll just stay.
Wilma! Wilma!
I have to go.
No, stay, Wilma. You have to stay. You have to stay forever.
Wilma!
Stay, Wilma. Stay.
Oh, Wilma! Get away! Get off the tracks! Wilma! Oh, Wilma, darling, are you all right?
Yes. My ankle hurts, but I'm all right. John, what happened? Where am I?
You're on the railroad tracks. That's where.
The railroad. But I couldn't. Oh.
You were standing right in front of that train, waiting for it.
Oh.
If I hadn't come along. Oh, God.
John, I'm frightened.
Oh, no. No need to be now. There. It's all over. You must have been sleepwalking.
No. It was Emily.
Emily?
Yes, it was she who made me come down here. I didn't want to, but she made me.
Come on. You'll catch your death standing out here in just your nightgown.
It was Emily, John. She wants me. I know that now.
Wants you?
Yes, she's lonely and she wants me with her all the time. Forever. And the only way that can happen is if I'm dead.
Brother.
Yes.
More brandy?
Yes, after what you've told us, I need it.
I'm going to have one, too. So will I.
Brandy all around. Oh, that's great stuff. Warms you up.
Yes, indeed.
And it's alive. What's that? Alive.
Oh.
It comes from grapes that are warmed by the real sun. The wine has sun in it. So does the brandy. When you drink it, you can feel the sun. Alive. Not dead. Not cold, like grapes. Dead people and spirits.
Okay, honey. Calm down now,
I
please.
won't be like that. Do you hear me? I won't. I want the sun and warmth and living. I am not ready to go yet. I am not ready to go with her. To be a half thing walking always in the shade. It's not fair. I want to live and I want to have babies and grandchildren. I want to
no,
honey,
no,
here, come on now.
Here, have some more brandy. It'll make you feel better. You're not going to die. We're simply not going to let it happen, okay? Now, come on, here. Drink up.
I can understand how she feels.
I tell you, if something like that happened to me, I'd be scared out of my skull.
There now. Better?
Oh, thank you.
Good. Well, help yourselves, everyone, to the brandy.
If you...
You know, I think it might not be a bad idea if we finish the whole bottle.
I think it might not be a bad idea if we decided what we're going to do about Emily.
You don't just think that it's me, then. I mean, you don't just think that this is happening in my head.
No, it's not impossible.
Mary.
On the other hand, it's highly unlikely. You haven't exactly got a history of madness, have you? Nor a tendency to suicide. We've known each other since we were kids, and I can't ever remember you even saying that you saw a ghost. Your mind has always been practical, very much so. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Mary.
And what about the little girl herself, Emily O'Brien? Since your grandmother never told anyone else about her Aunt Emily, there isn't anyone who could have told you.
Right.
And now, the fact that you came up with the name Emily O'Brien could have been coincidence, I suppose, but if I was a mathematician, I'd hate to have to work out the odds against it.
Probably take 100 years.
No. I'm like your grandmother. Until now, I've never believed in spirits or disbelieved. My mind has been open. But now, I have to say that I think the odds in favor of Emily's existence in some form are far greater than the odds against it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I mean, in one way, that makes me feel better. But unfortunately, it doesn't change the fact that Emily seems to want me dead.
No, she doesn't want you dead. I mean, she doesn't want to kill you because she hates you or anything.
No, it's because she loves me. She wants me to be like her, which happens to be dead.
So that she can be with you. She keeps on saying that you left her and that she missed you.
But I didn't leave her. She believes somehow that I'm not me, but I'm my great-grandmother.
How do we know that you're not?
What?
Well, I'm not saying that this is so. It's simply a hypothesis. But your great-grandmother, Wilma, died plenty of time before you were born, right?
Yes, but I
And
don't
assuming just for a moment, the existence of spirits, and assuming their ability to inhabit bodies. All right. Then eventually we have to come to the proposition of reincarnation. Now, I'm neither defending it or otherwise, mind, just setting it down. Reincarnation holds that a spirit comes back and back again to inhabit various bodies. All right, now, following that idea, it is possible that the spirit that inhabited your great-grandmother, Wilma O'Brien, and that which came later to live in the body of Wilma Cox are, in fact, one and the same.
What you're trying to say is that I was once my own grandmother.
That's what I am for the moment, hypothesizing. Now, if it should happen that the two Wilmas are, in spirit, one, then it's perfectly natural that Emily, another spirit, would not be able to tell the difference.
Well, there's another thing we haven't even mentioned.
What's that?
Well, look, honey, your grandmother said that the day after Emily died, the family moved out of the house and never came back. Well, supposing... no, Bob, I'll use your word. Just hypothesizing that house and this house were also one and the same. Poor little Emily, for whatever earthbound reason, may have been waiting around here ever since, waiting for the sister that never returned. And then we move in. And as far as Emily is concerned, her sister has come back to her.
But the sister's spirit is trapped, as far as Emily can see, in an earthly body. It has business of its own, no time for Emily.
Who is left alone, abandoned as she sees it, just the same as always. Now,
So, we come back to what is actually happening. She wants to get rid of my body. She wants to kill me so that we can be spirits together. Oh. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Oh, yes, there is. We can sell the house and move away.
Oh, no.
Oh, now, honey, please, be reasonable. All right, so you wanted to live here since you were a kid. But what's the point in being in a house where you're scared out of your mind all the time and where anything might happen to you?
I can't leave my house, John, and I won't, and you're not going to make me.
Well, no one's trying to make you do anything.
It's cruel. So cruel. How could you even talk about leaving poor Emily alone again? Have you any idea what it must be like to wait like that? To wait and to wait for someone who never comes back and never knows why? To wait 100 years? Can you really imagine how the poor little girl must have felt all that time? How she must have wandered backwards and forwards through these rooms, calling, and nobody, only echoes to answer. And then at last it happens. The one who's called returns, at last. Returns to the sister she left so long ago. And now you expect me to leave again? How could you? How could you?
Honey, sweetheart, please, it's okay. Nobody expects you to do anything.
My dear, you know us better than that. When John suggested that you leave, he was only trying to protect you.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm terribly confused.
You know that wasn't Wilma talking just then, don't you?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, all that business about Emily and waiting, that was the old Wilma, the great-grandmother. Or should I say that part of Wilma's mind that is becoming convinced that it is the great-grandmother.
What you're saying is that Wilma is going around the bend.
What I'm saying is that whatever the cause, mental quirk or supernatural event, something has got to be done, and very soon.
But what? If Wilma won't leave the house, what is there to do?
I believe that what Bob is thinking is that perhaps we should try to get in touch with Emily.
You're kidding.
I'm serious.
Is that what you were thinking of, Bob?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, it had crossed my mind.
Calling up spirits? Preposterous.
Well, you didn't seem to think the idea of spirits so preposterous before.
Well, talking of ideas and actually doing something like that is entirely different.
What are you all talking about?
No. Are you all right now, darling? Feeling better?
Yes, I don't know what came over me before. It wasn't me talking, or at least it was. It wasn't. Oh, very confusing.
It's worth thinking about, John. You know, I really believe it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, what have you all been talking about?
Oh.
Putting me in a home for the mentally unbalanced?
Oh, well,
Perhaps that's what I need.
No, please, no. Bob and Mary were suggesting
Yes?
that perhaps we should try to contact Emily.
I see.
Well, I'm not saying I'm sold on the idea myself.
Why? Are you frightened of finding out that she's real?
Perhaps.
the point is, if she isn't real, trying to contact her can't do any harm. Pardon me, Wilma, but if the whole thing is in your mind, then you should know about it as soon as possible so you can get help.
Do you think that it's my mind, Mary?
No. I told you before that I think that's unlikely. So I think we should try to get hold of Emily, because if she is real, then it's she who needs help, not you.
What do you mean?
What Mary means, I think, is that if Emily is an actual spirit, then something very strange seems to have happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the place for spirits on Earth, one would imagine, is inhabiting earthly bodies. And if they haven't got a body to live in, then they should be off in whatever universes or private clubs they inhabit when they're not around here. But look at poor Emily. She's caught, waiting in limbo for another spirit with whom she has an unusual and unfulfilled attachment. And now that that spirit is in her vicinity, she seems to be doing a thing which I would think must be considered a no-no in any respectable spirit world. She is trying to get that spirit to shed its human body before its time. Now, if we believe in the existence of Emily at all, that is what appears to be happening. So it seems to me that we've got to at least give the business of contact a chance. Not just for Wilma's sake, but for Emily's, too.
Yeah.
Because if there is a spirit, it's a very sick and sad little spirit. And just like any kid who has gone wrong, what the spirit of Emily O'Brien needs right now, more than anything, is help.
Do you have candles?
I think so. What are the candles for?
Well, I know nothing about these things, but it seems that electric light is so harsh. If I was a spirit, I wouldn't like it at all.
I'll get the candle.
Shall we use this table here?
What do we do?
Sit around the table. Join hands, I think.
Yeah?
Concentrate and call.
I see.